Hello, everyone. Welcome to the SIG Compute meeting. It got a bit delayed because the community meeting was delayed. Sorry for that. So let's jump right into it. So, Lee, how are you doing?
Yeah, I'm good. Sorry, I thought Jed had an actual topic first. Yeah, I reached out to Marty earlier today to talk about this. Yesterday on the unconference, I introduced this potential idea of having vert handler pools. And during the discussion, um, we there was a bit of a back and forth, and we kind of realized that potentially part of this could be achieved if we extended the plugin concept that you're developing. I did go through the plugin enhancement again, um, and I think there's a suggestion that you might be allowing folks to kind of patch or interact with the Vert Launcher pods, but it wasn't clear. So yeah, just my question is, would you be comfortable potentially extending that enhancement to cover some of these use cases, if not all of them? Um, and yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, so that's pretty interesting. I was thinking about it. So I think that, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that in the current state of the proposal, I'm not sure it's supported. And I wonder, like, what do you have in mind in order to support it? So, for example, do you think that we should allow replacing the whole image, like you suggested in your slides, or do you imagine allowing, more minor hook-based operations?
So the use case is to replace the image for the launcher. And yeah, on your screen there, I've commented on a pod hooks item in one of the examples that seems to be directly mutating a pod spec of some sorts that I think is targeted at Vert Launcher from what you're changing, but it's not entirely clear. So some kind of mechanism like that would be acceptable as well. Sorry, my kids have just got home, if you can hear them in the background. Um, yeah, so some kind of simple hooking mechanism for the image initially. Like there's potentially more to this use case with targeting on a per device kind of level. Um, but I think LA was saying yesterday, like, we might not want to do that because it's going to potentially conflict with other scheduling decisions and stuff. But in its most simplest form, it's just injecting a fresh image, a different image, into the Vert launcher at runtime.
Okay, so gotcha. If that's what you mean, then I guess it is supported with the current proposal because, as you said, like we can have a mutating admission that would either change only the image or maybe also the scheduling affinities or however they're called. Um, so yeah, that's interesting. I mean, so what we had in mind, and this is still under heavy discussions, is that we will basically support any mutating webhooks that the user will create. So um, we have like a shorter version for hooks that target specifically Vert launchers, but we can also support any arbitrary mutating policies that the admin will post. So I'm starting to think that, yeah, I mean, if we change the pod spec, I guess it will be possible. So the question is for you: will it cover your use case?
Just the most simplistic case of it, yeah. That will be enough. Yeah, we can take this into the enhancement now. If you're kind of open to kind of looking into this further, we can take it in there and kind of work things out over the next week or so.
Cool, sounds good. And yeah, I'll definitely add it also as a user story, so we can discuss it specifically. But that's very interesting.
Awesome, thanks.
Thank you. Use case we didn't think about. So next on the list is Orel. How are you?
Great, thank you. I hope that everyone is doing great today. Just a second, my kids are not British. Thank you. Um, I wanted to talk about the past core binding and its integration with AppArmor. We had an upstream user complaining that the new past core binding does not work with AppArmor. And I personally don't have enough knowledge in AppArmor to understand what KubeVirt needs or does not need to actually do. If you can please share your experience from other places of the code.
So until now, I think we can ignore that, and we allowed, anyone who is using AppArmor to to adjust their own policy. Um, do you think that? I don't know if Jed is here. I think. Yeah, Jed is not here. But, oh yeah,
It is.
yeah. Sorry. I think until now, what we did is just we can ignore that specific use case, and we didn't treat AppArmor separately, and we allowed people to just implement their own thing. But I don't know, Jed. What do you think?
What do you mean with about supporting AppArmor?
Yes. Do we need to explicitly support it, or do we just allow user to like? Do we necessarily need to address this use case in KubeVirt, or we just need to provide um something for users to consume and build it outside of KubeVirt?
I don't know. It's a decision we need to make as a community.
I think
I don't.
until now we didn't even have a facility to test AppArmor because
Right.
yeah, everything is built on
CentOS.
yeah.
But yeah, if someone, I mean, if we can get a CI lane for it, why not?
So, in general, can we say that KubeVirt does not currently support AppArmor, or what can we say in this specific case?
Not support. Currently, we don't have support for the CI, and we don't have providers. And if the community is willing to join forces and provide support for that, we will be like more than happy. But currently, we are not supported.
But why does it work seamlessly for SE Linux?
Sorry, what's the question about SE Linux?
Why does it work without any changes in SE Linux?
Because we made a lot of there was a lot of work made in KubeVirt to make sure that we don't require any additional SE Linux permission from what containers are allowed to do.
No, it's not. That's not accurate. It's because past make sure that the required permissions are like the rules are there, so it will work in a container and outside of a container. Otherwise, it will not have worked.
So
Yeah, that's basically what I was trying to say. Yeah.
Can we just say that this is not a KubeVirt problem, but it should be handled same way as it being handled for other CRIs?
Well, AppArmor, I mean, you usually need to write a policy for everything. So Apache probably needs its own AppArmor policy.
But is it our problem?
Is it our problem? That's for us to decide. I don't know.
Wait, how does KubeVirt work without any custom SE Linux policies?
magic. No, I mean we delegate privileged operations to per handler, which is running in a privileged container, so it can do a lot of things.
But even privileged containers, I mean, from what I understand, need SE Linux, like it's mandatory access control, right?
Well, they run as SPC_T, which is a domain that has a lot of permissions.
Okay.
But I don't understand then. Why does it work for SE Linux then? Because what? Because the default what is it? The default policy supports this.
Yeah, like Ed said, in past they made sure to be compatible with the default container Linux policy.
And this default container is Linux port. Okay. And where PAS didn't make sure that it's compatible with the default ARM policy.
Well, it's different for AppArmor. There's not like a default container policy. I don't think it still works on a like per process level.
Yeah, Vladik, if
So
I
there is
remember
no.
right, SE Linux, you have labels. So if you use the same label and the rules allow that, you get the same permissions. With AppArmor, there's a list that does path matching, if I'm not mistaken. So if you run somewhere else, you have different rules.
I see. I mean, until now, we kind of avoided providing solutions for AppArmor, and it worked. I don't know why. Anyway, I'm not entirely sure what we can do for this user.
Did they propose what they would like us to do about this? Because they seem to understand AppArmor better than us. They did. Okay.
There is a proposed fix section here.
So they want us to ship something, and that's problematic, isn't it? And then the controller need to set the AppArmor container annotation. I don't know.
I mean, I guess since we don't have any CI to test this, it will be problematic. Might be a candidate for plugins though.
Or for external controller. I don't know.
Or for a web.
For a web, why should it be part of KubeVirt? That's what I'm have trouble understanding.
Oh well, I think you have the general direction. Any more thoughts about this?
No, thank you very much. I will write that KubeVirt currently does not support AppArmor. We don't have the CI facilities to actually verify that it works. And if this user wants to have this functionality, they are welcome to open a web and provide the proper CI environment if they would like us to start considering AppArmor support. Does it work for you?
Sounds good, and I will also suggest raise attention for plugins. Maybe they want to test it out as well, although it doesn't
Thank
exist.
you very much.
So.
I will avoid saying not support or something like that. I will try to say what you need in order to cover it, like contributing a CI hardware to test it with a partner, someone to integrate solutions to support our partner in this scenario, all of this stuff. Because currently, and that we do not, and we are validating everything to CentOS at the moment in this project.
Even if we'll have a different CI for this, I mean, it will just complicate our test matrix incredibly, right? I mean, I don't.
Yeah, but you will not. You don't want to say no to deploy it on a Ubuntu base, right? I don't think we want to say that.
Why does it work? What? Yeah, I know. I'm just saying that I don't understand why does it work now. If it works now, then maybe what we need to do is to provide a facility to deliver this, but not test it. I mean, I don't. We need to give it a better thought of how can we separate this, because we want just in terms of CI and this crazy metrics, basically need to validate everything based on a different AppArmor, okay, SE Linux and AppArmor. That's why we wanted to stay kind of neutral here.
All right, I think we're ready to move forward. Benyat, how are you doing?
How are you guys doing? I'm doing fine. I was going to talk about two topics today. The first one is this one, which is again about memlock limits, which I noticed that for some use cases were not being updated or set up in the migration target in time. For example, for SIOB, that happens later once libvirt domain XML already exists and QEMU process is already there. What I do with this patch is actually trying to get that memlock limit set up earlier in the boot process, in the migration process, in the target. So we update the limits before we even run the incoming defer QEMU command from libvirt, or even before we try to run libvirt's QEMU spawn command or whatever. There are a few changes here that happen, but well, that's the main objective. Just for broader awareness, it's pretty much a bug from the alpha feature I was working on in the previous one that I didn't notice in time, but yeah, this is it. So yeah, it's just to bring it here for discussion, or just so any one of you might have to work on it. That's one thing. Not sure if anyone has any comments or whatever. No, I would jump into the next one.
Well, you say it's an RFC, but to me it looks like a bug. We just adjust memlock.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty much a bug, but I wasn't sure about the implications about the fix, so that's why I was sending a request for comments actually, because I wasn't sure about how this could affect other workloads, since I was just testing mine. And yeah, but
well, that's why we have test lanes.
Yeah.
If you broke anything, it should catch it.
I could rephrase it if that's better, and I would just call it a bug if you wish.
Whatever you think makes sense, but yeah, that's
yeah, it's okay. It's okay.
Any thoughts about this? Maybe someone from network? Correct me if I'm wrong. I see that it mainly affects network, right?
I would say since I believe that the only thing that is using that memblock thing in the migration target is actually SIOB at the moment, but the feature that kind of holds this up is the memlock feature I was working on for the previous release, which fell behind SIG compute actually, I think, but yeah.
Cool. So both SIGs are labeled here, so that's good. Any comments on that? I will surely have a look on this offline.
I know this affects a PR that I'm working on too with the vGPU. I think it's related with vGPU live migration. The current memlock limits, I think they're set too late, and I think I made a similar-ish change where I also moved where the memlock limit was set.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Did you also send a patch or something regarding that?
Actually, hold on. If I remember correctly, so in this PR, yes, the patch is my PR is active, but in this PR, when I looked at it, the code that is being removed, the old adjust resources, apparently when I was looking at it, looked like it's not even very useful and it's just here for legacy reasons. So if you go to like the diff for this PR, the place where they get rid of it, the current adjust resources. This is here for um hot plugging. I think SRIOV or single root IO virtualization. That one. So I think adjust resource is also called elsewhere. And when I was looking at it, I'm pretty sure like it looked like this wasn't being called.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Anyway, I will reach out to you maybe offline and have like a little discussion, see if you want.
Yep.
Yeah, so we're running out of time, but since this was delayed in a few minutes, Benyat, maybe you want to quickly mention the other topics that you had in mind, and then we'll wrap it up.
Yeah, maybe this has like larger discussion, and probably I should be opening a VIP just to discuss this. But I just wanted to have like a preliminary discussion with all of you, since well, that there is one thing about network vending plugins. They use this thing called network info. And when you are migrating one of those, you are quite like, there are some cases in which you want to update some parts of the domain XML based on how that network info struct changed. And so one way I was finding to do that was actually using this pre-migration hooks feature that was introduced in the last release. But I think, or I believe, there were some concerns about hooks being able to modify any arbitrary part of the domain XML. And network binding plugins are based in, well, sidecars, which are actually able to change whatever they want. So I just wanted to bring it here. This is kind of SIG network-ish as well. I will probably have to discuss it with them as well, but just wanted to discuss it here because I believe that these concerns were mainly brought by people in SIG Compute in the PR or BEP review, I think, but I'm not sure which of them. But well, again, I believe this is like BEP material actually. Then, but yeah. Anyway, we will discuss it.
Alrighty. Thank you. And since we're out of time, I think we will wrap this up and we will discuss the remaining issues next week. Also, if you have anything related to web specifically, we have the web discussion meeting. So I invite you all to join this meeting as well. Yeah, and with that, have a great rest of the day. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
Thank you all.